All right. Welcome back, everybody. We are so glad that you guys have chose to join us today for the DSO Business Forum. Just really excited to be here. I hope that you guys filled up your coffee or your waters and or grab a quick bite to eat and are back and y'all are ready because I know we've had a lot on tap for today so far. And I really enjoy this format of just rapid fire information and presenting all of these solutions. We've had a number of people that have joined us even throughout the day. We've had a great attendance. And for those of y'all that missed some of the earlier sessions, you can always go back and watch them on demand. You'll be able to share them with others if you find some of the content is applicable to them. We're also going to post them on our YouTube channel, so you'll be able to get it that way. Real quick, so if you have a question regarding tech support or you want to chat with any one of us or just tell us where you're watching from, you can put that in the chat feature over on that side of the screen, maybe, and maybe it's on that side of yours, so who knows. But put it in the chat feature. If you have a question for Sooji, you can put that in the Q&A, and we'll try to get to it today. If not, then I really encourage you guys to connect after this is over and continue the conversation. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of the way, and I'm going to introduce you guys to Sooji. So the session today is how do your practices smell, and it's presented by Sooji Park. So Sooji is a partner and nose for NatScent, a scent marketing company that is bridging the gap between retail and healthcare by intentionally changing how the dental industry smells. Entrepreneurship, passion, and kindness motivates her to provide 5-star service for all her clients. Sooji owns 3 additional companies. She is a college consulting, fundraising for NGOs, and a private personal chef mentored by Jacques Pepin. She loves her 3 sons and is an avid tennis player, which Sooji we're going to talk about later because I'm a tennis player, and serves on several boards, including her alma mater, Bernard College. So with that, I'll introduce you guys to Sooji. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you being a part of the show today.
Oh, thank you, Glenn, so much for that introduction. And I am so humbled and grateful to be part of Dreamscape Marketing's first annual DSO Business Forum. I really feel like the dental industry has a feeling of collaboration and community. And I am just grateful to be part of being able to provide a solution for DSOs and practices with a proven marketing tool that has been around. It's been proven and there's scientific data. So I'm sure you guys have experienced it, maybe not have been aware, but luxury resorts, the Ritz Carlton, high-end retail, automobile, airlines, and definitely the casinos. Because when there are good smells, people feel good. And when you feel good, you want to say yes. Your patients will say yes, and they'll say yes to more. So I would like to talk about a combination today. So I'm going to go a little off because I'm a very relational type of person. So what we do, how it works, how NatScent works. And lastly, I think this might help for you guys to understand who I am, like why I do it and why I'm so passionate about it. So I want to go back to earlier this morning. I checked out of my hotel in Philadelphia, and as I was walking out of this lobby, this woman taps me on the shoulder and says, "Excuse me." She was like, "Are you wearing Happy by Clinique?" And I said, yes. And all of a sudden her smile increases and she's like, "You smell so good." And I was just like a little thrown off because I'm trying to rush to get back home so that I could be on this webinar. But I could tell by the way that I smelled, she felt good and I impacted her day. So there's a famous quote by Maya Angelou, and she says, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And that's why NatScent and what we're doing how we're changing how the industry smells, which already has a negative association. That's what we're bringing to the industry, is changing first impressions. And when your patients walk into your practices, what is that first smell? What is that first impression? So I am going to pull up a little pop-up. So instead of bringing up slides, I'm going to bring up a pop-up. And here, how does your DSO smell? So changing and being intentional about scent, there's a 50% inclination to increase to buy. Nike and Samsung have done data that 50% more of their customers spend because they have a good scent in their businesses. 60% of consumers choose one store over another because of scent. Apple and Mercedes Benz have data and case studies that support this. Memory and experiences. People remember 5% of what they see, 2% of what they hear, 1% of what they touch, and 35% of what they smell. This is data given by Ritz Carlton, Hotel One, and The Edition. And I'd like to take a side note right here and just really, really celebrate, appreciate our supporters. So in the past year and a half, Nat Scent has been the signature scent for some of these really huge organizations. And I am just so grateful and humbled to partner with them. We've been the signature scent for Dykema, for the ADSO, Women in DSO, Amplify. Lead at Every Level was last week, and upcoming is the DSO Leadership Summit. And also a shout out to Ann Duffy for Do Life, the women's retreat. So we love partnering with our industry partners. We love supporting them and creating a signature scent for them so that their conferences will be memorable, and going to keep on going. So I want to talk about marketing dollars. So I had a conversation with the chief marketing officer, and he said, well, I already spend X amount of dollars trying to get patients in the door. Why would I want to spend another $140 a month subscription on scent since I'm already heavily invested? Well, my answer to him was, since you're spending that much, what is the first impression when they walk into your practice? And so I'm going to give you another example of a practice that we did an installation at, and they were in an urban strip mall setting. It was a hot and humid day, and it wasn't really fun to walk from my car with my tools to meet the office. When I opened the door, I walked in to some air conditioning, so there was some relief, but latex, cleaning products, this practice had eugenol. So I could smell it. Everyone in the practice has become nose blind and they think it smells okay. So let me run through how we actually work as an organization. So we provide, and what differentiates us from other scent companies is that we provide a concierge level of service. And so what does that mean? It means that from scent selection, I will ask you, do your homework and say in 3 words, what is your mission, your vision, and what is your vibe? I'll scour over your website and look over every single detail. Then look at also your palette of your design of your practice. And then depending on where you are, let's say there are similar practices or DSOs who want to say healthy and happy or smile as a priority. I would never give the same scent to a practice that is in the Pacific Northwest and Miami, which temperature is kind of hot and humid. So I would send top 3 scents, you make your selection, and then we don't have any contracts. Other scent companies have a contract. We are so confident in our product that not only is it going to be a win-win-win for the patient, for the dentist and that scent, that we don't have any contracts. We ask that you pay for 3 months subscription plus installation so that we can order your equipment, order your fragrance, and get you on the calendar. So our services also, I think people think that our services are super expensive. We add so much value to your practice that I'm just going to put it out there. It's $140 per month subscription, $250 install, and $150 2 times a year where we come and service and refill your fragrance. So, and also on a side note, I am a partner and we are women business minority certified. We do believe in equity and diversity. So if that's something that would be useful for your organization, that's just extra information for you to know. We believe that providing founder level service. So if you like hanging out with me, we're going to be there. I personally will be there to set up your installations. I believe that showing up and relationships make a difference. So back to the strip mall. So once the scent is put into their HVAC system, which is like a luxury hotel, so you'll have perfect, precise, and controlled, no overwhelming smells at the beginning of the month that run out at the end of the month. So after an hour, exit my car, it's still a smelly strip mall. And then when I open the practice door, I'm greeted with not only that refreshing air conditioning, but this signature scent of this practice. And I no longer feel like I'm at a dentist office anymore. And so I can share with you that I've had very bad childhood experiences going to the dentist. And so this is how I go to the dentist and I sit in the chair. But I don't anymore because my dentist is one of our clients. And I'm going to put a shout out for D365 and Dr. Banker in Westfield, New Jersey. And not only does he believe in scent, but we also align on food and fast cars. Ask me about that later. So back to the marketing person. Spending money to get new patients in the door. How are you keeping them loyal, lifelong patients? I'm going to suggest creating a signature scent for your practices and DSOs. So now I want to just shift it a little bit and tell you a little bit about myself because I feel like relationships are important. I am a single mom of 3 sons. And I'm an entrepreneur. And as Dave said, I have 3 other businesses as well. I'm a college consultant, a personal private chef, and I'm a fundraiser for nonprofits. And so why is that important? For me, I love to help. I love to help. And when I was approached 1.5 years ago by Daniel Zimmern, the founder of this company, I said to him, hey, I understand that it works in luxury, but how does that help people? And so that's where Dykema comes in. Dykema DSO 2021. And I am so grateful to be friends with Brian Kaleo, and I appreciate the shout out that he gave. He and his organization were the first to be adaptable, be willing to look outside of the box and think that utilizing scent for their conference might be something that would work in the industry. So thank you. And to Andy as well for giving us that opportunity. So I went feeling a little skeptical, not knowing what to expect. But my goodness, was I wowed. I was wowed by what I learned. The finest and best in the industry were there. And when I heard that 50% of people in the United States haven't seen a dentist, I could understand why, either maybe finances or because they feel so afraid. Well, that's when it just hit me. I was like, wait a second. If we can have scent in the practices and people can feel good, then that's a win for the patients because they're going to say yes to their care. They're going to feel safe, cared for, and trust their dentists and hygienists. And then it's a win for the dentists because not only, I mean, money's great, but money's not everything. But this will provide dentists to be able to provide for their patients. We're hearing about the mouth-body connection. So dentists are winning. And then NatScent wins for me because we get to help and it's a win-win-win partnership. So again, just a shout out to Dykema. Thank you so much for leading the way in being an organization that continues to be committed for the betterment of the dental industry. So pain points being relevant. I know that everyone is talking about a shortage of staff, hygienists, dentists, and I want to kind of give you a little input in terms of how it can work, not only to elevate patient experience, but also how it works for your team experience and culture. Memory is a smell and the memory connection. It's a placeholder. So for me, the smells of Thanksgiving remind me of family time. It reminds me of my sons. It reminds me of the delicious food at Thanksgiving that I cook. And if you happen to be in the New York area, Thanksgiving time, if you want to get to the Greater New York event, you're welcome to come join us for Thanksgiving. So how does that work with your team? So you can turn off, okay, let me go back. Our senses, our nose and our smells are connected to how we feel and our emotions. Our other four senses go through your cognitive brain, it's processed, and then you make a decision. So for your team and culture, you can present it this way. We care about what you bring to our organization. We value what you bring to dentistry. And we want you to know that not only are we implementing scent to elevate patient experience, but we want you to know that by this scent, we care about you. So if you repeat this message of care to your team and they walk in the door every day, that message is being stored as a memory placeholder and marker. So they can't escape that. If you have an encouraging sign posted on your mission, vision, values, after 2 weeks, they can turn that off because it's processed through their brain, but they can't escape the scent. So I know it sounds like mind control, but if there are good intentions, then you'll reap the benefits because that will make them feel good, and so on and so on and so on. So then you have a circle of good feeling that perpetuates. So in terms of interviews for new dentists and new hires, when they're going to visit 3, 4, 5 practices, what differentiates you from another practice? The only one that they can remember at the end of the day is the place that smelled good. So who will they remember? Now, finally, I have practices and organizations who are saying, Sooji, can you show us the proof in the industry? That is something that I am working on currently, that we are working on. There is hard scientific data from Harvard Business Review on the consumer psychology, the consumer behavior of scent. There are data and studies out there from these luxury retail places that say an organization and business that has scent, there is an 8 to 20 gross point increase in ROI. I'm going to repeat it again because it's worth hearing. In retail luxury, 8 to 20 gross point increase in ROI. So I would think that even 1 point is amazing. But so I am, with that data, I am backing that case acceptances will increase. What else do I see? So after implementation, I will start stalking your Google reviews for about 2 weeks. And lo and behold, you will see 5-star Google reviews. So for $140, not only you get amazing scent, but you get some marketing added bonus for that. The most recent Google review that I sent to a practice out in Spokane, Washington is the dentist said, yes, I want good feelings in this, but I also want my practices to smell like a spa. Well, I think it was less than a week. I was checking out their newest reviews, and the review said, I was so grateful. I didn't feel like I was at a dental office. It almost felt like I was at the spa. So I screenshot it, sent it to the dentist, to the practice owner, and I said, hey, we're delivering on what you asked for. So Google reviews, when we go to service at our DSOs on a 6-month rotation, we hear feedback constantly. Patients comment as they walk in the door. New patients, existing patients, they comment on how it smells so good in here, how good they feel. And the science and data behind that is, if one person is going to express how they feel positively, then that means that there are at least 100 other people who feel that way, who just don't get the opportunity to express themselves. So scent marketing, we are here to help. It's an industry. We're not only in dental, but dental has become my sweetheart. It has become a place where I have made some solid friendships, and we're always on the road. So if you see that we're traveling and we're coming your way, we'd love to stop by and see you.
Speaking of that, Sooji, will you let everybody know where you're going to be over the next month, or where they can come meet with you in person?
Yes. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. So Monday, we are in Las Vegas. On the 30th, we are at 4M Institute, scenting their conference. It's Success Beyond the Surgery, Elite Team Skills by Coach Steve Sperry. And in between there, we fly back to New York City. So as I mentioned, we're in other verticals as well. We are at HLNY's mini annual Congress. It's the Healthcare Leaders of New York. And then back out a week later, we're in Nashville at DSO Leadership Summit, and in November at Do Life with Ann Duffy. So I'm just so grateful to be everywhere and in dentistry.
Absolutely. And piggybacking on what we kind of spoke of earlier with Brian, is that, we've seen this opening up of marketing channels now, the ability to use all of these different vehicles to reach new patients and also attract staff and make it a great place to work. I know what you guys have done has been around for a long time in other other verticals. We've seen that and being used very effectively. The science is there. And it's just a sign of the continued exploration and openness of this space, that we're really starting to see these different tools being used and being employed successfully. And it's just encouraging to me. It really is, to see how we can diversify and become more sophisticated. So really, I just want to thank you very much for being a part of this. Yes.
Can I just add one more thing? So talking about other verticals, so we partner with, and without saying, the #1 orthopedic hospital in the nation. They've been named 14 years in a row. And the CEO said the reason why they're able to stay #1 is that they've taken on they're adaptable. And so I think that was great, that he felt like being open to solutions, just like what we're doing here today on our business forum, DSO Business Forum, is don't be afraid. There's AI, there's sensing, there's marketing. There are lots of tools out there, but if you're willing to be adaptable and try different things for the benefit of patients and dentistry as a whole, I think we'll just be successful.
I love it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being a part of the show today. Just once again, if you'd like to get in touch with any of the speakers that we have, you can reach out to me here, shoot me an email, and we'll connect you guys. And we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to talk to our good friend Amal about leveraging artificial intelligence to ignite the DSO growth. So really pumped about that. Sooji, thank you once again so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys shortly. Thank you.
Bye.